finally, you're obviously a very competitive person. You're competing with the likes of Jeff Bezos in...
Jeff who?
Everyone in this room is inspired by you. Who are you inspired by?
Well, Kanye West, obviously. I think Mars should really have great bars. The Mars bar. It's all right.
But when we talk, I remember when you first told me that you were thinking about tunnels.
Yeah, when did I first tell you about that?
Years ago.
Okay, it's like a long time ago.
Yeah,
like,
I thought you were joking.
Yeah, it was. I was joking, but...
I think there is other intelligent life outside the Earth.
It seems probable, but I think this is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy, is where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us, I don't know. Some people think I'm an alien. Not true. Not true.
But maybe we are aliens.
Of course I'd say that,
maybe
wouldn't
we
I?
are aliens.
Most likely to be bad rather than, like that's why we tax cigarettes and alcohol. Because those are probably bad for you. Certainly cigarettes are.
How do you plan a business where you know, the rocket business, you know some of these things are going to blow up on the launch pad? How does the business plan work?
I don't really have a business plan.
Any natural resource extraction on Mars would be, the output would be for Mars. Like, it definitely wouldn't make sense to transport stuff 200 million miles back to Earth. Honestly, like if you had like crack cocaine on Mars, like in pre-packaged, pallets, it still wouldn't make sense to transport it back here. Maybe good times for the Martians, but not back here.
Going back to Mars, what kind of government do you envision for the first Martian colony?
So we have to be
And
careful
what's your title?
Yeah, exactly. Emperor or God Emperor? I don't know. Might be too much. I don't know. You have to watch my jokes here. Not everyone gets irony. Must remember.
Yeah. Actually met a woman I dated briefly in college, who now works at Scientific American as a writer, and she related the anecdote that we went on a date. All I was talking about was electric cars. That was not a winning conversation.
So it was a bit of a monologue, was it?
Yeah, she said she said the first question I asked her was, "Do you ever think about electric cars?" She said, "No, she never does."
So you learn from that. That wasn't the best shout-out line.
Wasn't great. But it has recently it's been more effective.
There you go. I noticed that.
What would be your mediocre superpower? Now, this is absurd to ask you because Tony Stark is partially modeled after you.
Right.
So you actually are sort of have real. So we were asking you to
He doesn't
downgrade.
technically have a superpower. I guess, except like inventing technology or something.
Right. So we're sort of asking you to downgrade from that a bit. So an example of a mediocre superpower would be one of the best ones we've ever gotten is this guy who wished to temporarily detach his arm while spooning with a girl. Sometimes it's staying.
That's what he wants to do with a girl?
That's awesome.
People globally want to be like Elon Musk. What's your advice on that?
I think that probably they shouldn't want to be.
You?
I think it sounds better than it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as much fun being me as you'd think. I don't know.
You don't think so?
No. There's definitely, it could be worse for sure, but it's, I'm not sure I'm not sure I want to be me.
Okay.
But if...
Some volunteers to be colonists. Do we have any colonist volunteers here for Mars?
Actually, not many hands raised, by the way.
Much less than we spend on healthcare, but maybe more than we spend on lipstick. Something like that. And I like lipstick. It's not like I've got anything against it. Yeah, I can't wait for that comment to go out there.
You wreck the car, you get out of the car, you're doubling over with laughter. And the person with you said, why are you laughing that you just wrecked this car? And you said, no, you don't know the funny part. It wasn't insured.
Well, the punchline's correct. Yeah, so I was driving up Sand Hill Road with Peter Thiel, one of the co-founders of PayPal. We were actually driving to see Mike Moritz. This is in 2000. And so we're driving up Sand Hill Road. I didn't really know how to drive the McLaren. And Peter says, so what can this do? And then I'm probably number one on the list of famous last words. I said, watch this.
The Model X is now over 2 years late. What went wrong?
Well, I do have an issue with punctuality, I have to admit.
Silicon Valley accurate or not accurate?
The show?
Yeah.
It starts to get very accurate around episode 4. So it took a few episodes to kind of get grounded. The first few episodes struck me as Hollywood making fun of Hollywood's idea of Silicon Valley, which is not on point. But then by about the 4th or 5th episode, season 1, it really starts to get good, and then by season 2, it's amazing. In fact, reality, the truth is stranger than fiction. All the crazy stuff you see in that show, Silicon Valley, the reality is way crazier than that.
Is there a parallel with how you build companies in that story?
I hope not.
Let's see what this thing can do.
Yeah, watch this. That could be awkward with a rocket launch.
And we're funding the company for merchandise sales. So thank you for anyone who's bought our flamethrower. You will not be sorry, or maybe you will. It won't be boring.
That picture at the end is a picture of one of the circuit boards inside the Roadster, right?
We try to confuse the aliens as much as possible.
Moonbeams meet the sky, and you and I will walk by on by.
Well, this is really winning.